I should probably just say this off the bat, but no one is forgetting about the Nintendo DS anytime soon. In fact, we could probably make an argument that it's better remembered than some of the console releases following it. And I think this is in part thanks to things like the dual screens it's named after, innovative features like local wireless play and touchscreen controls, and of course, a stellar lineup of game releases that plenty of people look back on fondly. Wait, why is he showing Charlotte's Web? No, in reality, there were way too many games put out on this thing that probably tanked the overall quality of the DS experience for some people. But because of this, no two DS users would have the exact same library of games. Now, of course, there's error in that statement, but it's always been interesting seeing how people's DS collections differ from one another, whether that's based on things like pre-existing interest in a franchise, recommendations from other players, or just straight up curiosity on why they decided to make that into a game. I'll always love talking to people about this, so today I want to show off a handful of games I played as a kid, ranging from most popular to how did that get in your hands territory. Without a doubt, Mario Kart DS is one of the most well-known things to come from the DS. And I'm gonna go on a limb here and say that this is the perfect representation of what the DS has to offer. Of course, it used both screens to declutter and better organize space for a more detailed map. Local wireless play made it easier than ever for people to join in for a race, even if they didn't have the game. There was the ability to draw your own logo with the touchscreen that always felt like the coolest thing to come out of an options menu. And then the game itself. Super tight controls, a great amount and variety of tracks to race on, and an overall really fun selection of characters to choose from. And I didn't even bring up mission mode because I didn't play it as a kid, but it just goes to show how much value is packed into this game and how much fun there is to be had with it. I know everyone and their mother already knows about this game because it's Mario Kart, but I really couldn't make a video about the DS without at least briefly highlighting it. Now, the console version of LEGO Batman will always be one of my favorite games ever. I definitely have a nostalgic tie to it, but there's still plenty of things that hold up about it that make it worth replaying today. And for very similar reasons, actually, I would make the exact same argument for the DS version. Now, does it really hold up visually or gameplay-wise with the console edition? Absolutely not. But trust me, things can get a whole lot worse on the DS. What made it worth playing for me, though, was seeing how similar yet different these two versions were. Cutscenes are now presented as comic strips, which honestly feels perfect for the medium. Vehicle levels now take on a top-down approach that utilizes both screens, and of course, a character selection that not only gives you more choices than the console edition, but also an additional game mode that lets you hunt down these characters to unlock them. It's just crazy seeing how many additions and changes were made to better format this for the DS. Because while it does make for an excellent companion piece to the console edition, I think it totally holds up on its own as a unique experience. So for those not in the know, Band Hero was essentially a spin-off of the Guitar Hero franchise aimed more so towards children and families. Now for casual fans, it was just another release in a sea of rhythm games coming out that year, and for hardcore fans, it was way too easy and really came off as a sellout for the franchise. But unlike LEGO Batman, the DS version of Band Hero couldn't be any more different than its console counterpart. For one, the track selection on DS is way more based in traditional rock than the console version, which not only ramps up the difficulty, but also makes it feel way more familiar amongst other Guitar Hero titles. Drums and vocals are now included, meaning you can play this game without the proprietary grip, you know, the one that's rotting in a thrift store right now. And while there are some annoying touchscreen mechanics and changes made to the traditional progression of a game like this, I still think it's a worthwhile pickup for a casual rhythm game experience. Casual as in, don't play this game for more than an hour or you will get carpal tunnel. I have yet to meet another person who has even heard of Mini RC Rally, and that's probably for a good reason. Because while I would like to acknowledge the novelty of racing small cars in a kitchen or backyard, there's just nothing all too special about this game. While the controls aren't great, they are at least manageable, there's a decent amount of vehicles and paint jobs to choose from, and the track layouts are certainly fun in concept. But for some reason, there's only one thing that has really stuck with me from this game, and that's the main theme. I don't know what it is about it, but for years this music lived rent-free in my head, and I only remembered recently that it came from this game. So thank you, Mini RC Rally, for standing the test of time as the most $20 grocery store bargain bin game ever. But generally speaking, not much of my DS collection was any more unique than this. I mean, I played a lot of the more popular games for the system, and none of them were more jarring than anything we've talked about today. That was until I decided to revisit a certain movie tie-in game. Easily the worst part of working on this video was playing through Napoleon Dynamite for the DS. And you might be thinking to yourself, Gavin, Mini RC Rally is certainly more obscure than Napoleon Dynamite. But if I don't talk about the 4 hours I put into beating this game, I don't think I'll be finishing this video. Like many all-time classics, Napoleon Dynamite for the DS is a minigame collection, and a really bad one at that. Not only because the controls are stiff and unresponsive throughout the entire game, not only because the AI is incredibly broken and unforgiving, not only because it recycles the same content up to the last section, not only because it is objectively hard to look at, taking inspiration from Amanda Anaconda of all things, not only because it plays the exact same 3 songs over and over and over again, but because it took one of my favorite movies of all time and reduced it to the worst experience I've ever had playing a video game. But that's just par for the course on the DS, come on.